Hi everyone, my name is Michael, and here with me is Sabrina, Sales Director of A-Mobile.
Hi guys.
Welcome to our webinar section. Today, we have two topics on our menu. First of all, Sabrina will answer a few questions and talk to us in more details about K430, our latest rugged mobile device. And then we have invited our partner, Springdel, to talk about the advanced Springmatic UEM, MDM system, and the market trend. Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. I got an iPad in my hand, and I got a series of questions regarding to K430s that I'm going to ask, and you can answer the questions, and in that way, tell us a little bit more about K430 in depth. So very quickly, just let me introduce to them what K430 is about. So a quick introduction on K430. The K430 it's a high-performance 8-core processor. I should say the K430 has an 8-core processor that's high performance and 64 gigabytes of internal storage and 3 gigabytes of RAM in a mobile device. K430 has plenty of performance for all the industrial tests. The processor is capable of many tests, including AI applications. Okay, so let us begin. The first question. There are so many different kinds of handheld device for the industrial applications. Yeah. So what is K430 and what is this device primarily for?
Today, let's take a look at the K430 handheld device a little more in depth, okay? So first of all, the K430 is a rugged mobile handheld device and with a 4-inch touch display, okay, and 23 key keypad, and it's relatively compact. So in the keypad, we reserve two programmable keys for quick access suitable for one-hand operation.
All right. So the next question. You mentioned that the K430 has a 4-inch display. Yeah. This is quite a small display, I must say, and also the keypad. How does a small display and the keypad benefits from this application?
Well, okay. The 4-inch touch display in combination with the physical keypad is perfect for the warehousing application. And the 23 key keypad can be customized to suit your app, all kinds of apps. Okay, so making operation much smoother with high accuracy on command input to improve the efficiency.
Okay, so the next question. In warehousing and logistics, we began to see a lot of AI implementations, such as Face ID logins, facial recognition, with mobility cameras. How does K430 answer to the demands of AI applications?
Okay, the K430 use MediaTek's 12 nanometer Helio P22 processor. So this 64-byte processor using MediaTek's neural pilot technology, and it supports AI frameworks such as like TensorFlow, TF Lite, Caffe2 to name a few. And this gives the K430 an edge as an AI computing handheld.
All right. All right, so going on to the next one. Reliability and durability are important metrics to determine the quality of handheld devices. How is K430's battery life and resistance to accidental drops for day-to-day wear and tear?
Okay, the K430 comes with a 4,850 milliampere hour battery. So this is plenty of hour for daily driving in your work shifts. While K430 comes with a 10 watts fast charging adapter. So, and as you can see, the battery is also removable. So it providing an option for the quick like battery replacement if necessary. And it's 4.5 meter drop resistance that will providing the ruggedness required for the drops and the compacts.
So obviously, to handle warehousing and logistic applications, scanners can scan different kinds of identifications when necessary.
Sure.
What scanners does K430 equip, and how is it going to help the efficiency of the operations?
We position our K430 to focus on the warehousing application. So therefore, we fit a high-performance barcode scan to enhance the working experience. And the K430 it supports TPM, therefore it can read barcodes of metal service, so which many heavy industrial settings may require. And the barcode scanner also supports multi-scan functions. That means 10 barcodes can be scanned at the same time. Okay, so that improves the efficiency, especially with delivery, with the logistics. The high-quality barcode scanner has a very high sensitivity, so it can read unclear or partially the damaged barcodes. And this is quite important as the barcode to be scanned are not always in perfect condition, right? So obviously at its core is still a smartphone, and for communication, the K430 supports like 3G, 4G, of course, Wi-Fi connectivity too.
All right. So, all right, going on to the next question. Not all the industry are the same as in this business for IPC, from warehousing to inspections to logistics and to delivery. The requirements are different. One standard version of the device may not suit all the businesses.
Yeah, sure.
So, what does A-Mobile offer to fulfill customers' unique requirements?
Wow, that's a very good question. Standard products in the market may not suit the needs of any kinds of applications, and perhaps your application requires unique functionalities or features, right? So many ODM companies offer ODM design, but they are not able to provide the manufacturing. Or if you find like an OEM manufacturer, but the lack of the design capability, then you need to use a design house. But when you use a design house, then of course it tends the design and manufacturing time and also the cost, right? So A-Mobile's expertise in ODM service, we offer a one-stop shop for your business requirement. That means we can work with you from the ID design, hardware design, manufacturing, or even also the quality control and the logistics.
Thank you very much for all the details. The information provided here is quite comprehensive.
Okay.
We hope that provided extended information regarding to A-Mobile's K430 handheld device. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your questions at the Q&A session. And of course, give us an inquiry at any time on our website. All right, so that'll be all for this section here. Back to mobile solutions in warehousing and logistics. You will need MDM software to manage your devices and your fleet. But what is MDM software? How is a fully featured MDM software going to help you with your business? Well, with our partner, A-Mobile offers a total solution for your fleet requirements. So today, we have invited our partner, Springdel, to explore this topic with us. So without further ado, let's get to it.
My name is Calvin Chung, CEO, co-founder of Springdel, and many of you guys probably already know me. I've been in the auto ID industry, specifically the MDM industry, for well over a decade, and being one of the pioneers. We founded Springdel, having been on both the engineering side and on the sales side, engaging with customers and really addressing the major pain points in the industry, right? There was lack of innovation. It's far too expensive, unstable. There's a lot of things about the industry that really needed to change, and so many years ago, myself and one of my partners, we had started this company, and so here we are today. We're working with A-Mobile now as one of our strategic partners, and we've aligned with them over a year ago, and we've had some really great successes with some major global customers, right? So I want to kind of kick off and talk a little bit about some of the trends I've been seeing, and I did mention really briefly one of our major motivations. But I see this kind of a reoccurring theme as I, engage with customers. And one of the major, trends that I see is that especially because of COVID, um, customers are really complaining about their existing solutions and that they're overly complicated. They have to use so many different jump through many loopholes in order to get a simple thing done. And what ends up happening is that customers end up not knowing how to properly use a product and often make a lot of mistakes, right? And that can be really detrimental to their deployment, right? And so what we found that customers are looking for now is a solution that's really simple, easy to use, and straightforward, and that they don't have to spend so much time and money trying to learn and train all of their employees, right? And again, this is from some of the customers that we've engaged with. Um, they had told us, COVID was, not a great time for them, and so, for many reasons that they had to, reduce a lot of headcount, and so retraining people and having to educate people on how to use their existing solution became very expensive, right? And so a lot of customers are looking for things to be more simplified. Second major thing, again, a lot of these things are because of COVID-19. Security has now become a really big theme in the industry. Specifically when it comes to business critical line of business use cases, right? And we see that there's a lot of companies, specifically the FMCG, e-commerce, they're really blowing up. There is a heavy dependency on these ruggedized devices to ensure that their business is always running and always operational. And security becomes starting to become a more of a concern because it's a major point of vulnerability if this existing solution were to get hacked, right? It could take out an entire supply chain and operations, and it could be very detrimental to a company, right? So again, companies are now looking into trying to find better ways to ensure that they're following best practices. So again, security becomes a really good thing, and one of the major things, specifically things like single sign-on, that really becomes an essential piece to ensure the integrity of the individuals logging in and ensuring that it's not getting in the hands and being accessed by people that aren't supposed to be accessing the system. Another key thing that I see customers asking for is cloud, right? Cloud is a big thing, and it's not just traditional cloud. There's this whole concept of cloud and cloud 1.1.0 where you have an application that's built on Windows and you throw it on a VM and there comes a SaaS solution. That's not cloud anymore. That's cloud in 2000, late 2000s, 2010. Things have evolved much more. And for a lot of reasons, scalability, cost efficiency, and security, right? Security is a very big thing. And so what customers we find are looking for is about understanding about how we are trying to evolve this entire industry, and the cloud is a really big essential piece. Using a modern cloud solution that incorporates microservices, containers, having like a global infrastructure. This becomes really essential when selecting a good solution. And so, again, a lot of customers are asking about this because they want a solution that's going to work, that's going to be secure, that's going to scale, right? And that they're always going to get the latest and the greatest updates without impacting their operations.
Kevin, thank you for the introduction and the piece of information about the trends, right? So I think one of the things that we were asking, most of our customers, including the global customers that we have been having very good successes working with A-Mobile, is what is the exact value the customers see of using our Springdel MDM solution versus some of the what we call existing vendors. What is the major differences that you see Springdel bring to the table for the customers to use?
So then there's another thing is on performance. Performance is a major thing. When you look at performance, this is kind of tapping into the a modern day technology that Springdel is using. Being able to do things as simple as it sounds, delivering an app quickly, right? There's a lot of these solutions that exist in the market. Where seemingly I'm going to deploy an application down to the device. Once it hits over 1,000 or 2,000 units, it's very common that you see these legacy systems start to choke, right? And it's really interesting because there's a lot of customers out there that are using these things because they don't have a viable alternative, right? And they just live with it. So like they got app deployment issues. It takes, what was it, 2 hours to deploy to 15 devices, and they're like hitting the refresh button saying, hey, I want to get this application down, and their teams are frustrated. And performance is a really huge thing. And these old traditional legacy MDM vendors, they don't have that ability to be able to deliver something that's dependable, that can scale.
Yeah. I think if you can show, maybe Kevin can show the A mobile devices running our what we call our Kiosk Mode. Okay. So one of the aspect of this, thank you very much. One of the aspect of this is in a particular case, the A mobile customers really need a secure way to help the user of the devices and application run things efficiently. They need to make sure that the productivity are being maintained to basically meet the customer's expectation. In this particular case, in Malaysia, is a cash delivery vendor for the banks. They need something else to ensure that the device running the applications are always available, and that there's no what we call security concern from that perspective. And I think that that's one key reason. But the other reason I can think of is that people, as you mentioned, not only they want a simple set of tools for them to use it, they also don't want to cost a lot of their IT administration people and the operation people to spend a lot of time just running servers. I think one of the things that they have, we have seen other customers in the world that are looking for a better solution because they've been stuck in this stage of having to spend a lot of the resources on maintaining servers and springdels. They would just like to have a MDM that works and they can just use it. I think that's another value of Springdel. I guess the architecture was done to make full utilization of the latest cloud technology to ensure not only we can scale, not only the customers have the best performances, but also have the reliability they need. And at the same time, they just focus on using it and not having to spend their resources maintaining them. That's another reason.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit a really interesting point. It's like them running, even buying the old traditional vendors. They say it's they're sold cloud, but at the end of the day, the maintaining part is like, yeah, they gotta hire dedicated people in order to maintain the servers to ensure it's working, that the policies are being applied. It's I guess what you say, MDM is supposed to lower the total cost of ownership of a mobile deployment, but what about the total cost of ownership of deploying an MDM that doesn't perform as what you had thought, right? And so there's a tremendous amount of hidden costs when you're adopting these types of technologies, especially when they're not vetted out.
Yeah, I think one of the other features of ability for the cloud deployment as Springdel's offering is 100% cloud-based. And one of the things that we did is using the latest technology, we are able to provide what we call features update. We are able to do this without impacting the real life operation of the customers. Or the frontline workers can be still doing the job with the devices and application, while at the background, we can deploy newer features, newer version without having to wait for, let's say, either a downtime, or in some cases, some of the traditional vendor may need like 3 or 4 months to be able to deploy what we call a new updated version. I think that's what customers want now. They need something which is always available, always running, and without having to sacrifice some of the features that they need to do the job well. I think that's actually another angle. So maybe later on, we will just do a demonstration of some of the features, maybe using the A-mobile devices, and apply some policies to show you guys what exactly some of the value of the Springdel and A-mobile combinations of technology and as a solution available to you.
Yeah, I agree. We could show that afterward. There's actually another thing I wanted to add, Victor. I think one really other important thing that customers have always been asking for is to be able to use the data for something. There's that, when you're connected to these devices, there's this idea or this conception that you can use data, right? And you're collecting all sorts of data, battery data, network data, and with traditional device management, I mean, there's this concept of data collection, and yeah, it's there. And when you end up talking to customers, they start getting all of these creative ideas. Oh, I can use the data for this, I can use the data for that, and that's something that's been discussed for years. Now, the problem is that a lot of these vendors that exist in the market are built on legacy technology, right? And in reality, this technology is not meant to be able to handle the type of data that's coming in. And so one thing that we did that's really unique in the market is that we had built a big data architecture to the core of our system. And this is with the intention for customers to use our data platform to be able to have real insights, real-time value, and be able to apply machine learning to the data that's being used in the operations out in the field, right? And again, what this translates to is a lot of cost savings and better understanding of how to better manage the operations that are using these devices. Are they having downtime? Are they having network connectivity? Are they having performance issues? What are these things? What are these trends, right? So again, with our platform, we can do, incorporate all different types of data, integrate with different data points, but more importantly, we can apply real-time data and machine learning, both on the server side and on the edge.
Hey, Chris, can you help walk through some of the demonstration for our audience?
Yes, glad to do that. All right. So what I have in my screen is the dashboard of Springdel MDM. As you can see, this is just a summary overview of what we have on our dashboard. For example, there are 5 devices, there's 0 in low battery, and the 5 currently are online. And we can see all the bar graph at the bottom, and so all sort of devices. We support MDM for many devices, many kind of devices, and many type of Android version, right? So let me just jump into device view on the left panel, right? Left navigation panel, and here there are a couple of fleets. These are all device fleet, and you can just jump into the device fleet that you want. You can create a new fleet, or you can create any sub fleet that you need, right? For example, I have a fleet called Kiosk Mode. In here, there's one device, A-mobile, and the user on the field need my support, so I just need to click on the device, and I can see details about the device. It's all being displayed here, and of course I can see all the application that has been installed on the device itself. And if the user need my help, I can do this over the air. It's like I can just do a remote control without even physically touching the device. So I'm doing this remotely. And you see how fast the screen appear on my the remote control appear. So I'm not actually having the device, but I'm doing a remote control and trying to troubleshoot what's really going on the device. Why is it not working, right? So these are a couple of apps that has been in Kiosk. In other words, users will not be able to access other things such as settings and other blacklisted apps. They can only see whatever is inside the home screen here, right? So for example, like if I want to go to Get Swift, this is the corporate app, just go to corporate app. Once the job is done, when you click back, on home screen and still come back to the kiosk. Okay, so these are basically being filtered. I mean, it's like the user is only able to use these three apps, none other than this.
This is what we have discussed early on. Majority of our customers really need a way to lock down the devices for the user of the devices to use only the sanctioned applications to ensure it's safe, it's secure, as well as they help maintain the productivity to support the customer's operations.
That's correct. That's correct, right? So when the device in this state, in the kiosk mode, we expect to be less issues where users will messing around with the settings and they have no access to all those disastrous action that they do on the device. This in turn reduce the support issue on the device, right? So as a support staff, I can just look at the device in kiosk and I can just exit kiosk and I can just troubleshoot and diagnose the device. Once everything is being fixed, it was fixed, and I can just turn back the kiosk on, right? So that now it come back to kiosk, but after I fixed the issue. So this is pretty handy. Everything can be done remotely without even touching the device. The other advantage of using Springdel MDM and remote control is multi-admin remote. I'm not the only one that can do remote control on the device, but a couple of support guys or probably developer can also use the remote control at the same time, right? So multiple admins or personnel can just access this device at the same time. So this Springdel is the only one that provides multi-admin remote control.
Yeah, and if you guys can see on the screen, that's actually me controlling the device while Chris is controlling the device at the same time. So this is really useful. And we figured that and that we would double down on this because a lot of our customers are asking about how to actually save time when trying to diagnose problems. And so we found that there are a lot of customers out there that have multi-departments, that have different sets of responsibilities to ensure that these devices are always online and operational. So it could be the application team, it could be the IT team that's responsible for the device, and when they're trying to solve a problem, now you have two different departments that are able to go into the device and diagnose and solve a problem significantly faster in real time.
That's fantastic.
Well, Springdel dashboard is user-friendly. It's easy to use. It doesn't require the complexity or tremendous training in order to learn about MDM, right? This is something that's very easy to use. It can be trained in less than 1 hour, and bottom line, it really works, right? So you don't have to go through complexity and all the trouble or the complexity of having navigation menu, this kind of thing, right? So here is something that's very easy. You can just see the fleet. And for example, if I want to apply policy on the device, I can just need to click on profiles and I can just modify or just create a new profile. For example, this is how easy a user or the IT admin can create a new profile. Let's just call this profile, test, right? Just click OK. save, just create the test profile. Now I have a test profile. There's a lot of useful feature that I can use in this profile that I can enable. For example, I would like to disable camera. Probably I want to disable user from doing a factory reset, right? Probably I may want to prevent user from turning off the Wi-Fi because it's critical. They are not supposed to turn on the Wi-Fi. And the next thing should be like application management. I would like to send a corporate application and whitelist this in the application management menu, right? So a couple of apps can be drag and drop inside this app management box, right? Meanwhile, if there are any apps that need to be blacklisted, for example, Facebook, we just need to enter Facebook package ID here. As simple as that, right? For example, let's say I would like to block Chrome, and I can just insert Chrome in the blacklist box here, and Chrome will not be permitted, so it will not run and it will disappear from the home screen. Okay, and a couple of other things that can be useful is to provision Wi-Fi settings if you want to, right? So user don't have to know the password. We can provision all the Wi-Fi settings here, and we also have file sync where you can synchronize certain files such as wallpaper to the device on the fly, and we can just apply that wallpaper to the home screen as well. And geofencing is basically a feature to create a boundary, virtual boundary of devices, in a certain area, right? So if the device exited the area, and a buzzing sound or probably a notification will be sent to the IT administrator. So this is kind of handy, for IT admin to understand where the users are actually. So you can just draw a couple of geofencing area here, right? So that's it. It's pretty easy to use, pretty simple, and it doesn't require tremendous training to use Springdel MDM. There's one feature about Springdel MDM, which is very, very powerful for a corporate just to confine everything, every permitted app into a kiosk, right? This can be easily built with our kiosk builder, right? The only thing that we need to do is just turn on the kiosk and just maybe I would like to permit back button and home button in the kiosk. Perhaps we may want to just create a backdoor exit where the administrator can just simply enter a password to exit the kiosk if he's holding the device. The next thing that we need to do, enter the kiosk builder. We just do a drag and drop of whatever apps that is required on the kiosk screen, right? So for example, like I would like to have battery and face clock app in the status bar. Next is to key in the password for exit kiosk. Once everything is done, do a save. And the next thing that you may want to do is to assign. Click on assign now. This profile is ready for assignment. So I can just assign this to any fleet, for example, like a test fleet, right? And just click on assign now. And immediately after this, all the devices inside test fleet will adopt and will be assigned with the test fleet and will be entering into kiosk mode in no time. That's how easy for us to build a kiosk without all the complexity. And this is very, very intuitive way of building a kiosk.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Kevin, for the demonstration.
You're welcome.